Hi, my name is Sachin. I've been working as an educator and technical consultant for the past 18 years and have been coding since the early 90s when I was introduced to a Sinclair Spectrum home computer. I'm really excited to present this course. In this course, we'll embark on a comprehensive journey through React, right from the basics all the way to testing and deployment. If you're a front-end developer, then you must have React in your arsenal. We will also look at Redux, one of the most popular state management solutions for React applications. React is a JavaScript library by Facebook. A JavaScript library is a collection of functions that you can use to simplify development and to introduce powerful features and functionality to your project. React is used to design highly performant user interfaces and applications. Facebook designed React to solve common design and performance roadblocks. Today, some of the biggest names in the corporate universe use React. Names like Airbnb, American Express, Amazon Video, Expedia, Instagram, Khan Academy, Dropbox, BBC, NFL, Netflix, and so many more rely on React to power their apps. React is not only powerful, it is quite enjoyable and fun to work with. You'll not only be able to embrace React and its concepts, but would also be able to go hands-on with numerous code labs and examples. But what makes React so special? And why should you be investing time in learning all about it? Let's find out. To understand React, we have to go all the way back to the document object model, the programming interface for HTML documents. When we need to programmatically access, control, and modify elements in HTML using JavaScript, we need to do that using the interface that the DOM provides. The issue with the DOM is that it is not the most efficient interface, and a large number of simultaneous DOM operations are enough to slow down the application in the browser. This is where React comes into the picture. Instead of manipulating the DOM directly, React introduces a virtual DOM which creates an in-memory representation of the actual DOM structure. This in-memory representation is then kept in sync with the actual DOM in a process called reconciliation, which involves computing the difference between the updates to the virtual DOM and the current state of the real DOM. This helps React find parts of the UI that actually need an update. This means that only highly optimized updates are applied to the real DOM, thereby minimizing the interface excursion cost and boosting performance. React's reconciliation algorithm is known as React Fiber, which generates a virtual tree of DOM nodes internally when the app starts. This is then rendered into the page. At the heart of React is the concept of declarative programming. Let's visualize declarative programming using the example of a checkout screen in an online shopping application. Here, you can see a list of items that the user has added with the quantity and cost, and you can see the total amount at the bottom. If we separate the data from the visual elements that you see, then we'd get something like this. We simply have an array of products with the per unit cost and quantity purchased. This is the data that drives the interface. Changes to this data should update the interface and the calculations on the price. Now, let's say we want to add another product. This should be as simple as adding the product to the array on the left. This should automatically update the UI on the right. Pretty simple, right? Let's call this data layer as state. React uses the concept of state, which essentially describes the contents of the interface. Whenever the state is changed, the interface automatically updates to reflect the change. You declaratively update the interface by simply updating the underlying state. Everything else is managed seamlessly by React. This makes it really easy to imagine your application in terms of data and not in terms of technical nitty-gritties such as DOM manipulation, selectors, and other things that you would otherwise need to worry about when building a web application. In terms of React Fiber, when the state changes, a new virtual DOM tree is generated and is compared with the previous version in a process called diffing. The computed difference is then applied to the real DOM. But React Fiber isn't the only thing that makes React a stellar solution for building user interfaces. The beauty of React is that it gives you the ability to break down a huge interface into reusable and composable components, the true building blocks of a React application. These components can be individually maintained and developed without hurting the rest of the interface. In fact, everything that you build with React is essentially a component. For instance, a login component would typically be made up of two instances of an input field component and a button component. Components can also store local data in a state object, which then drives the rendering and consequent updates of the component. Additionally, components can receive data using props, a kind of inlet that lets parent components pass down data in a top-to-down data flow, which is fundamental to the library. But building interfaces isn't the only thing that you can do with React. You can build applications by utilizing an ecosystem that includes a router such as the Reach router, a state management solution such as Redux, and any flavor for the backend. We'll be working with React 16 in this course, a version which marks a major evolution in the life of React. Version 16 was a total rewrite and introduced several key features that have changed the way we build apps using React. You will learn all about these features and so much more as we continue our exploration and journey with React. By now, I'm sure you're itching to get your feet wet with React. Let's do that in the next video.